Kristen watched the video that I put up over the weekend. I believe it was actually Sunday, so yesterday, of Leah Messer currently being buried under $700 and something thousand in tax debt. And if she's not careful, within a year or two, that number could very easily reach $1 million. Very, very sad, very, very serious situation that she is currently going through. But I do have a positive story about her to share with you guys today. Okay, you guys. So shout out to Leah for this. I do think that it is absolutely incredible. And also shout out to the USN for breaking this story. Leah Messer sold her first home and she's been hired by a real estate agency. She currently works for a West Virginia real estate agency called Property Elite. And she was hired in April of 2024. And this is interesting because she was already with a different brokerage before, but then unfortunately that didn't wind up working out. Like, it was actually rather quickly that she was dropped from them. I don't think that it was necessarily due to her performance. I think that it was just, perhaps they had too many agents or something else was going on. And, I'm happy to hear that she was hired by a different agency and that she has now sold her first home, you guys. So first of all, let's take a look at what her bio looks like on their webpage. I want to put that up for you guys because I think it's really, really exciting what she's got going on over there. So this is her page on their website. Beautiful photo. It says, move in the right direction. Sorry, Leah makes you move in the right direction. Leah Messer is a dedicated real estate agent from West Virginia, known for her expertise and commitment to her clients. Leah uses her platform to provide valuable resources and information to her community. Her passion for real estate, combined with her strong advocacy for family, makes her a trusted and effective agent for all of your real estate needs. So if you're in the area, if you're in West Virginia, and you are looking for a real estate agent, please feel free to go ahead and, see if you can go with Leah. Wouldn't that be kind of cool if you watch the show and everything like that, and then she becomes your real estate agent? So this home that she sold, it was for about $165,000, which gets you a lot in West Virginia. I know some of you, especially if you're from a high cost of living area, you're like, really, what did she sell for 165? But in West Virginia, you get like a good, solid, detached, house, even a century home, I think they called them, right? The ones with a lot of history, the older ones. You get one of those for like 150, 160, 170, and it's so crazy when you compare it to other people. Like here, maybe you can get like 2 parking spaces for that much, or back in Ottawa, what are you getting these days? Even a condo is not, with 165, you cannot even get a condo like in downtown or in the burbs. You'd have to go further out to like kind of like no man's land. And so just to see what you're able to buy in different areas is really, really cool. So I'm happy for her. And like Jaleesa, I am nervous about, what people like her or what people like Caitlin and Tyler are going to do once the show goes out of air, because Caitlin and Tyler, they are suffering their own financial difficulties. I know they've got tax debt. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now how much it's for, but I did recently do a morning report about, and I did clip the video so you guys could go ahead and check it out. I believe it was posted Friday, about how their Octagon home was in pre-foreclosure. And so they were in a rush to sell it, and they did finally wind up selling it. So I think that's going to help them settle some debt, but I don't know if it'll settle all their debt. But, I do think that they got a pretty penny out of that sale. So congratulations to them on that. Congratulations to Leah on selling her first home. And I hope that she's able to continue with that. Can someone remind me how much commission real estate agents get? Like, isn't it like something like 4 or 5%? So if I put 165K times 0.04, that would be about 6.6K that she has to put towards her debt. So listen, this isn't the only thing that Leah does, right? So Leah, she also, I think she sometimes does sponsorships on Instagram. She's got her Teen Mom Next Chapter salary. She's got her Teen Mom Family Reunion salary. And I believe she tries to do other things as well. So that's at least 3 or 4 different streams of income, which makes it all the more like confusing how she even wound up in this position in the first place. With that, all these like different streams of income coming through, that's already an amazing thing that should be ordinarily keeping you out of debt and actually propelling you towards, being more financially stable than the average person, right? But listen, the schools aren't well. And so I'm not exactly surprised that she wound up in this situation. Amy says, I've been rooting hard for her. She's the only one who actually tried to change. Here's the thing about Leah, and I think people felt like I was hard on her, but this is what I've always felt about her. And I don't say this to insult her, but I think it's just what it is. I feel like sometimes people have to accept things for what it is. Not everyone is a super smart person, right? And so I think that that's what Leah fights against, right? I think that just based off of, I don't know what the factors are. Maybe it's the schools, maybe it's her parents, maybe it's something else. There's a lot of factors at play that determine like how intelligent a person is, right? Not everybody, as terrible as these people are, Zuckerberg or like Elon Musk, like these people have an above average level of intelligence, right? Then there's people with regular or high or low intelligence. I think that she falls in the lower kind of like category. And despite that, she still fights really hard and she tries really hard to make a better life for herself. And so that's why I too, like you, Amy, and other people watching, I too actually have like a soft spot for her because she's fighting against a lot of things to do the right thing. Like she, things that might seem like common sense to you or I are not exactly common sense to her. Just, go back and watch her season of 16 and Pregnant. Go back and watch the early days of Teen Mom 2 and see where she came from, like she had a lot going against her from the very, very beginning. And like she said, the schools ain't well, y'all. The schools ain't well. So she really did not have a lot of chance to not fumble the bag, right? Candace says 165 can't get you anything in Chicago or suburbs, right? Isn't it crazy how much money it costs to live in certain places? It's insane. So some of their salaries have been released in various lawsuits. So in one lawsuit, we saw that some people were making about $300K. And another lawsuit, we saw that some people were making about $500K per season as well. So it really does vary and depend. I think that now, like, I don't know, I feel like they would have taken at least a little bit of a pay cut because in my opinion, the current ratings do not justify a $500K salary. And so I think it's only going to get more and more difficult for these people who are drowning in debt to be able to pay it off, right? And, like, exactly, it's really, really difficult. Like, I think, like, is education prioritized in your area? Is it well funded in your area? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think education is very well funded in West Virginia, but I could be off there. Jane says, it's from spending money you should be putting back to pay your taxes. Exactly. Like, I get the vibe that she didn't know that you're really supposed to pay taxes. Maybe she didn't understand that as a contractor, she had to pay it on her own. Like, I don't know. I feel like she just didn't know. So, I'm really, really glad that she is doing, but here's the thing, we don't know that she put this money towards the taxes, y'all, right? And another thing, there's one thing I don't feel bad for Leah on, and it's something I discussed in my last video, which I did just post again yesterday, Sunday, which is that Leah knew when she was buying her most recent house that she was in a lot of tax debt. And instead of paying off this tax debt, Leah took that money, gave it to her random boyfriend of the year in an effort to low-key, potentially, allegedly commit fraud, have him buy the home in his name because she knew that she would not be eligible to purchase this home due to her tax debt. So she sunk herself in a deeper hole, all just for her latest boyfriend of the day, right? And now that man who didn't pay for the down payment, he owns that home and he holds it over her head and in exchange for her silence. That is one thing I do not feel bad for her on. That is one thing that was just foolish on her end. You've got 3 children to take care of, right? You've got all this debt, and instead of paying off this debt, and you already have a nice house that is adapted to your children, including one who has special needs, and you throw all that away for what? Right? That's one thing I will never support her on or feel bad for her on. That was a congratulations, you played yourself, you big dummy moment, right? If there's a mom that you could meet, honestly, none of them. Like, what am I going to do with these people? None of them. I don't know. None of them. Let me, you know what I'll do for you, Amy, and everybody watching? Let me go ahead and pull up, because I don't even remember who half these people are. Let me pull up my Teen Mom page here on StreamYard, because I separate all these things by pages so I can remember. Franchement, none of them. I can't think of a single one where I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm dying." You know, the only person that I think would actually be really, really interesting just because it's one of those, like, people where you're like, "Wow, like, are you real? Do you really think this way? Do you really speak this way? Like, what is it like to be in your brain?" It would probably be Farrah just because, like, she's so outlandish, so it's hard to believe that she's a real person. You know what I mean? But aside from that, I don't think I would be starstruck by any of them. Listen, this went from being a huge show to being a show that maybe like, a couple dozens of us watch on a weekly basis. So like the hype just isn't there. What about you, Amy, or any of you guys who are watching? Let me know live in the chat if you could meet any of the Teen Mom from past or present, who would it be? Right? Amy was hoping I'd say Amber. Absolutely not. Yuck. I think it would probably be Farrah just because I really want to see what it is like, to be in her head because I think that she's very outlandish. Okay. Jane says she has to be pretty smart to pass the real estate test. Listen, I'm really happy that she did, and I hope that it helps her, put some money away because listen, her time's running out on that show, y'all. The time is running out. She's got to pay that stuff while she still has money coming in.